Hi, Jacqueline Nash here from the Yoga House. Just a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button so you get updates when we post yoga videos and yoga tutorials. In this video, we'll show some stretches on how to stretch the piriformis muscle, which is on the outer edge of the hip. The piriformis muscle lies over the sciatic nerve, and when it's short or tight, it can create some discomfort down the back of the leg. So we're going to start out with our hips elevated on a blanket. So if you do need a blanket, pause the video, go grab one. I'm going to just lift my hips up just so we can center, ground, connect with breath. Grounding through the hips, lift the crown of the head up. Close the eyes, just a few rounds of breath here. And being conscious of dropping into those exhalations. And seeing those exhalations as this process of releasing tension. Let the eyes blink open. Inhale, lift the arms up, touch palms. And on the exhale, we're going to fold in, walk the hands out. Keep the hips grounded on the blanket, which can be humbling, right? Because we want to reach out very far. But make sure those hips stay grounded. Feel the stretch in the low back. Feel the stretch into the hips. And peek towards those hands. Walk the hands over towards the right side. So I'm mirroring you. Okay, so you're going to walk those hands over to the right. Tent those left fingers. Roll the left shoulder down and push the left hip down and back. So on those breaths out, see where you can soften and give into the pose. And then taking it back through to center. And peeking out towards the hands, walk the hands over to the left. Send the right fingers out, roll the right shoulder down, push the right hip down and back. Breathe into that low back on the right side. And peeking towards the hands, let's take it back through to center. And just walk the hands back towards the legs, sitting all the way up. So we'll keep the hips elevated on the blanket, sending the legs out in front. Roll your left leg out to the side. Take the sole of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Now, if the knee is up really high, you might want to support the knee or the leg with a pillow or a block or maybe another blanket. So get to a place where it's feeling supported. Square over the right leg, lift up through the heart, take an inhale, and walk the hands out. So hands are either going to frame the leg, you might catch the foot. Once you go as far as you can, inhale, lift the heart up again, and exhale, fold down, dropping your left ribs towards your right knee. Okay, so I want you to be conscious of pushing this left hip down and back. Again, seeing where you can release tension on the breath out. And then looking forward, inhale, exhale, sit all the way up. So now we're going to hug this left knee in. Step it to the outside of the right knee. Right arm's going to lift up. Take a nice deep breath in, and then you're going to hug this left knee in. Right, so wrap that arm around the leg. Left hand comes behind you as a kickstand. Sit up tall, inhale, and exhale, twist. And so this is a twist, right? And we feel it in the spine, but we want to really be aware of the hip. So hug that left knee in tighter. Bring the left knee closer to the midline of the body, or even crossing the midline or the center of the body. Right, so we get deeper into the outer edge of the hip. And if any of these poses you want to stay in and breathe for a little bit, just pause the video and then come back when you're ready. Take one more inhale and exhale, come back to center. And take hands next to the right hip and do a gentle fall into the hands. And getting a nice little stretch in the low back on the left side. Coming back up through to center, send the left leg out, give yourself a little shake and rock, and then we'll do the other side. So rolling the right leg out to the side, sole of the foot to the inside of the left leg, square over the left leg, again, support that right knee if you need it. Inhale, lift the heart, and then folding down over the left leg. So once the hands reach where they can get to, we want to lift the spine up again. Inhale, exhale, folding in, dropping right ribs towards the left knee. And then consciously push that right hip down. So you're going to feel it in the back of the left leg, but we really want to make it again about that hip, that right hip. And on the exhale, what can you release? What can you let go of? What tension can subside? Inhale to look forward, and exhale. Sit all the way up, scooping that right leg up. Step the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Left arm lifts high, and then we hug the knee. And remember, we want to make this about the hips, so we want to pull that knee in towards center. Right hand goes behind you. It might come behind the hip. It might get a little farther back. We want to inhale, lift the heart up, and exhale, twist. And keep the spine long. Keep that right knee hugging in, so we make it about the hip. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, come back to center and counter twist. Hands come next to the left hip. Gentle fall in. Feel the stretch in the lower right back. And then all the way back up through to center. Send the right leg out. Give yourself a little shake and rock. Okay, let's take soles of the feet together for bound angle pose. Hips can stay elevated on the blanket. Just a few breaths here. Inhale, lift up. You might feel a deep enough stretch here. Right? Maybe you can start to walk the hands out. Okay? Just about 5 breaths here. Okay. Spine can stay long. It's okay if it rounds. I tend to feel it a little bit more when the spine is nice and long. All the way up, inhale, exhale, release. So we're going to take the legs, extend them out. Take the blanket next to the right hip, and we're going to lie all the way down onto the back. Okay. Hug your left knee in, and then you're going to cross the ankle above the right knee. Take your left hand through that figure 4 you've created, and take the hands, interlace them behind the right hamstrings, to the back of the right thigh. Flex your left foot to protect the knee so the lower leg doesn't rotate, and hug in. Okay. I want you to consciously push your left knee away from the front body. Start to feel that stretch in the outer edge of the hip. Breathe deeply. Okay. So the farther we reach that knee away, the deeper we feel the stretch in the hip. See if you can relax the low back a little bit, again, finding those places where we can release tension. And then release the hands. Plant your right foot on the ground. You're just going to shimmy your hips a little bit over to the left. Send your right leg out. And then you're going to cross that left knee all the way over to the outside of the right hip. Okay. You might bring it on top of that blanket. And if you need a higher boost, you can fold up the blanket and bring it underneath the knee. Right? Maybe you use a pillow. Let that knee or leg feel supported. Relax into the stretch. Feel it in the low back. And just about 3 more breaths here, right? Just a short practice. Again, you can pause the video if you'd like a little bit more time. And then you're going to engage your core to take that left knee back up through to center. Hug the knee in. Plant your right foot down. Shimmy your hips to center as you place your left foot back down. Okay? And we're going to take the blanket next to the left hip. Send the left leg out. Hug the right knee in. And you're going to cross that right ankle above the left knee. Okay? Bend the left knee. Plant the foot to the ground. Right hand now comes through your hole of your figure 4. Hands come behind that, interlace the fingers behind your left leg, your left thigh. Flex your right foot, hug the leg in. Reach the right knee away from the front body, getting into the outer edge of the hip. then releasing the hands, you could bring your left foot to the ground. Shimmy the hips a little bit over to the right. Now extend your left leg out as you cross your right knee all the way over to the side onto your blanket, your support. Remember, fold up the blanket or use a pillow underneath the knee if you can't quite get the knee towards the ground. On the breaths out, what can you let go of? What tension can you release? Can you soften the right hip, and the low back, and the right side so it can receive the opening? And then inhale and come back through to center. Engage the core as you take that right knee in towards the chest. Bring the left foot to the ground. Bring the right foot to the ground. Take it back through to center. Hug the knees into the chest. Drift over to the right side and plant your left hand down in front of the chest. And help yourself all the way back up to sit. Okay. So finding your seat. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through a short practice today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for practicing with me. Namaste, yogis.